If you are searching for a Power BI consultant right now, you might be asking yourself, how do I make sure that I pick the right consultant for the job? And in this video, I want to give you some tips. Basically, I want to classify the types of jobs that exist, and I will explain which type of consultant would suit every job. So I will explain what things you need to be looking for in a consultant for every particular type of job. My personal experience, so I've been consulting in Power BI since 2021. I've worked with a bit more than 500 clients, including the big ones like Google and Teleperformance and the UK Ministry of Defence. I am top 1% on Fiverr, Upwork and freelancer.com. I have a ton of reviews, but on the other hand, I also run a Power BI consultancy, so I often have to hire a consultant for a project that I'm working on. So I will explain you my experience from both sides of this equation. Now let's discuss the types of jobs. So the first type of job and the first type of hire that you could be looking to make is a hire for cost effectiveness. Let's say you know that a consultant can do a job more effectively than you can do yourself, or you with the experience that you have in your team. Maybe it's not yourself personally, but with your team members. So you just notice that it takes you too much time to create what you need to create in Power BI, and you basically want to give this job to somebody who knows what they're doing, so they spend a lot less hours than you would spend. In this case, you would be looking for somebody who's quite cost effective. So you would be looking for probably a cheaper consultant, but somebody with the technical skills to get the job done, right? So if you are making this type of hire, what you need to make sure is you have a manager or project manager who basically understands the problem you're facing, understands how the problem needs to be solved from data perspective, like what calculations need to be made, what type of visualization you need to create, and somebody who can explain everything in a lot of detail to the consultant. So the only thing you're missing in this scenario is the technical experience in Power BI. So basically you'd be testing people for technical experience. There are a few ways to test this way. You could be asking people if they have professional certification from Microsoft. So this is a test which is done on annual basis by Microsoft. If people are professionally certified, it shows that they have some technical experience. You could be asking for years of experience that a person has in Power BI. Of course, like not all years count the same. Like sometimes you can find somebody with 2 years of experience, but who knows Power BI much better than somebody with like 7 years of experience, because it depends on like intensity of how intensively they worked with Power BI within this time span. Like years of experience probably do matter for this type of hiring, right? You could also ask for some portfolio pieces, so it would probably be something generic, or like just any project they did before in Power BI. So if they can show you that they have at least some track record for solving Power BI challenges, then they probably have what they need to get the project done. So the second scenario which I see people are hiring for is a particular type of experience. Let's say you understand what the problem is, you don't quite understand how to solve it. In this case, you can't guide somebody in a very detailed way how to create the dashboard that you need. So you would be looking for somebody who has a proven track record for solving this kind of problems. So for me, for example, I've worked with 500 different clients, and I can see that their requests are sort of the same for the most part. They have their data, let's say, in Xero or in Salesforce or in SAP, and they are looking for somebody to extract this data, to automate data refresh, and then to visualize it all on the dashboard. So this is the reason why we created a section on our website with which data sources we connected to. So we have a section for Power BI connectors. We have a section for particular dashboards that we created, especially the data sources that were used for creating these dashboards. And this basically shows that, if a client has data in any of those sources, then we understand the data format, we understand what formulas need to be written to make the numbers match, and we are able to visualize data effectively. So it's a great example because, like, as a client, you know that you have your data in Xero, but you might be not understanding how to automatically extract data in the most efficient way. You are not familiar with Xero data model, so you cannot guide somebody in terms of, like, you need to use data from this table, combine it with data from that table, and you would get your numbers to match. Like a consultant who has this kind of experience would not need this type of guidance. Another example could be, if you want your dashboards to look a bit more professional. So maybe you don't like the design of your dashboards. If inside of this portfolio you can see well-designed dashboards, then the chances are a consultant would be able to design a good-looking dashboard for you as well. So that's the second part. For this kind of jobs, like, you would be looking for somebody with proven track records of solving this kind of problems. And another way to test it is reviews. So you can see that somebody has a lot of reviews, they're mostly positive, then of course that's a good way to test not only the experience but reliability of somebody for solving this kind of problems. So the third type of projects or jobs that come up is like jobs that require intelligence. So those would be probably impactful and big projects with open-ended scope of work, and they are not. It's something that probably was never solved before. So in this case, and I'll give you an example of this kind of project. So in 2022, I was approached by Google, and they would just find 100 million euros in the EU because they missed a piece of legislation that came out, and they didn't realize that this piece of legislation affected a particular Google product. So they decided to gather data on each piece of legislation going out in every country that they operate, how this piece of legislation affects their products and each product that is affected, whether the impact is high, medium, or low, whether the risk is high, medium, or low. And they needed an effective way to monitor the risk for all the products and also to show this to their management. So it's an example of a problem which is very unique to this particular client. It's probably like you would really struggle finding a consultant or a consultancy with this particular type of experience. So what you'd be looking for is an intelligent consultant who can think with you and think in very custom ways to yourself. Honestly, intelligence is the hardest thing to test, but there are some things you can test for. So The first thing is experience of a consultant working with enterprise level clients. In my experience, most enterprise level clients have open-ended scope of work. So if they have this experience, then they would definitely help in their clients to define the ways to measure a problem. Another thing that you can test for is experience in helping a client to identify KPIs and essentially like business analytics type of experience. So what we did for Google, for example, we created a Google Doc which summarized the business question that needed to be answered, the formula to answer this business question, and then the most effective way to answer this question visually, so the graph that was chosen to answer a business question. We took some screenshots from the internet and also from our previous work samples for this kind of visualization. And we put it all together into one document. We also had some grouping for those business questions into logical groups, and this is how we separated the dashboard page by page. So in this kind of scenario, like, you would know what the problem is, but like a consultant would be the one identifying how to measure this problem. And if they did this kind of projects before, then they will probably have a document like this in some shape or form laying around. So you can definitely ask a consultant to explain or to show you how they were able to help other clients to identify like ways of measuring their problem, either through this document or just explain their thought process. So this kind of projects, you would probably be looking for a consultant who also can quickly understand the problem and give you some thoughts almost immediately about this problem. So if they can do this, then it just shows that they're thinking very fast. And like, that's kind of one ways that you can test I don't want to say the level of intelligence, but it's just you can make sure that they can apply source of their thinking to your particular project very efficiently. So I hope that this video was useful. I hope that you are now a bit more equipped for finding the right consultant for your job. And if you have any more questions about how you could test this sorts of things, or maybe you're a consultant and you want to know how to demonstrate your experience in any of those areas that I talked about, then please leave a comment and I will make sure that I will reply to every single one. So thanks a lot for your attention, and I will see you in the next video.